Hello, this is another tier list I made. This time we'll be going through the zombie class of Sneaky. Sneaky is interesting. It's the main part of Sneaky is having gravestones to hide in, because that's what the description says. Interestingly enough, gravestones aren't unique to Sneaky. Any zombie can have gravestones, just Sneaky has by far the most zombies with gravestone. Plus, also says they do better at like avoiding fights and stuff, meaning that they move around the board. So yeah, this will be the tiers same as before: love, like, neutral, dislike, and hate. And just like my brainy tier list, we'll go from hate to love. Starting off with hate, there is no card that I really hate in this class. There might be some you can make the argument to why I should hate them, but honestly, I really don't. Don't again, this is biased because I play zombies a lot more than plants, but even when I occasionally play plants, I still don't encounter the threats that should theoretically be annoying at all. So yeah, that's the reason why there's no hate. Next up is dislike. These are cards that are just why use them and are just outclassed and stuff. So let's go over them. Starting off with Imp. Imp is just a one cost zombie with 1/1 stats. It is completely outclassed by Swabby, not just because Swabby is zero cost rather than Imp's 1 cost, but also because Swabby is amphibious while Imp is not. So yeah, because of that, there is literally no reason to use Imp instead of Swabby. Next up, okay, this is something I don't know why. I went to get the PNGs or the images for the tier list, and for some reason, the Sharkatronic, the the swashbuckler, no, not swashbuckler, the plank walker, sorry, plank walker and the gondola, they're not properly image-fied, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why this is the case. I'm not really sure, so I'm sorry about that, but again, I will explain what they do and stuff like that. Gondola, what it does is when it hits the zombie when it hits the plant's hero's face, it will spawn a random zombie in its lane, then move to a different lane. The problem with that is a lot of things, but real quick, let me get a drink before I start. Thank you. I should have got a drink before I started recording, but oh well. So yeah, as stated, when it first off, it needs to hit the plant hero's face, which makes it very easy to chump block. A lot of the time, this just gets chump blocked. Is Second problem is they say it leaves a random zombie, meaning that, well, yes, it could be a good zombie, and most of the time it'll be a bad zombie. In fact, now interestingly enough, if it's in the amphibious lane, because yes, this is amphibious, and it hits the plant hero, it will have to spawn an amphibious minion. It can't spawn something that isn't amphibious, so that can sort of help you get a better minion, but not really. So yeah, that's the two bigger problems. And the third one is the fact that if this just gets shamrocketed, it effectively does nothing. So yeah, because of that, this is a very honestly not that good of a legendary. And sorry, I don't know why it's the PVZ2 gondola rather than the heroes gondola. I really don't know why it's like that. Same for Planewalker. I'm not sure why. I'm sorry about that. Next up is Surprise Guard. When this reveals itself from its gravestone, it moves to a different lane. The problem with this thing is, well, it just the problem with it is it just doesn't have strike through. Like, this is a I don't know. Okay, sorry. It's very similar to Line Dancing Zombie. The problem is with Line Dancing Zombie, that works because it has strike through, meaning that it can't get chump blocked, while while Smashing Guard can get chump blocked because of it. Plus, another problem with Smash Guard, and I found this when doing some leap shenanigans, is the fact that if you leap and it becomes a Smashing Guard, it will instantly move out of the teleportation station. It will instantly move out of it. So yeah, because of that, it's just not that good in my opinion. Like 5 attack and 6 health is decent, but really not that good. So yeah, that's the reason it's in dislike. Next up is Walrus Rider. It has anti-hero 3, or no, anti-hero 4, I believe, and 4 HP, and it costs 5. In case you don't know what anti-hero does, anti-hero basically increases its attack when there are no plants in its lane. That's basically what it does. It does extra damage if there are no plants in its lane. The problem is if there are plants in its lane, then it just goes back to regular attack. So yeah. The problem with this is just first off, it's very expensive at 5, and while yes, it is amphibious, meaning you could potentially use this to, try to hit them in the amphibious lane. The problem with that is, and this is just my opinion or what I feel like playing, amphibious plants are more often than not better than amphibious zombies. So because of that, a lot of the time they'll just have something to either block it or just kill it with something else. So yeah, because of that, it's really not that good at all. Really not that good at all. Next up is Blow Dart Imp. Blow is it Blow Gun Imp or Blow Dart Imp? Eh, Blow Gun Imp is just bad. Like, this is a very bad card. So what's the problem with this card? The problem with this card and the reason why it's in dislike is because it's literally just outclassed by both Pogo and by yeah, and by Space Laser. Alpha is laser? I don't really know. Sorry, having a brain fart. Yeah, basically what this card does is it has deadly and strike through, and when you do a zombie evolution, it bounces a plant. The problem with those two things is first off, it costs 5. Pogo costs 4, and Laser Based Alpha, okay, I remember the name. Laser Based Alpha costs 3. So it's just more expensive for that, plus it's even more expensive given the fact that it has to have a zombie evolution for it. Plus, it just has 3 attack. That is honestly pretty bad for a strike through minion. Like, pretty bad for a strike through minion. Really, it's just again outclassed by these 2 cards. That's the reason why it's in dislike. Because you really, if you're running either of these 2 cards, you should never run this card. Yep. Next up is Chicken Zombie. Chicken Zombie, when a plant enters its lane, it will move to a random lane. I'm putting it in dislike mainly because it's just a worse Fire Rooster, basically. That's the reason it's in dislike, admittedly. Next up is Neutral. Neutral. Swabby is just fine. It's just, not bad, but not good either. It's just there. Next up is Infinity Clone. Infinity Clone is sneaky, but it's also crazy, which is interesting. It's just fine again. I was going to put it in dislike because, in case you don't know how Infinity's built signature superpower works, it spawns the 2 imps in random lanes, which is actually kind of bad because with the other 2 spawn superpowers, those being Button Shroom or wait, Spore, More Spore, and Dancing something, you can actually select where the first one will go. So the fact that you can't select it for Infinity is actually pretty bad. But I decided to put it in neutral mainly because that's with Infinity's signature superpower, which while this technically is, also isn't. Plus, it does have, I guess, decent stats. 2 can be good, and plus it is amphibious. So yeah, I decided to put it in neutral. Next up is High Diver. High Diver is when you play it is in a gravestone. When you play on top of heights, it will move to the water lane and get +1/+1 stats. I put it in neutral just because I kind of use it. I said, okay, I have a sports deck and I only have one of this in it. As admittedly, it's not that good. As I stated, amphibious plants are better than amphibious zombies. Plus, even then, it still has not that good stats. Really, I don't really. The only reason it's in neutral is because, as stated, I use it like somewhat. I use it a little bit, and it can be decent. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, I would have put it in dislike, but yeah, so it's there. Next up is Octopolt, I believe this is called. It's Neptuna's signature superpower. I put it in neutral because, well, I really have no strong opinion on it. The only interesting thing I could say is that it's a hardy and a sneaky card, which is interesting, but that's really about it. It's just fine. Oh yeah, one more interesting fact I can give about this. Originally, it did not have Frenzy. It only got Frenzy after Octo Zombie. Because if you don't know what Octo Zombie does, it's not on this tier list because it's a beastly card. But basically, when you play it, it makes an Octopolt. So yeah, it was only given Frenzy because of that. But yeah, that's interesting. Just thought that was interesting. Next up is Cosmic Imp. Cosmic Imp is a 1/1 that when you play it conjures you an imp and that imp gets deadly. It can be good. The problem is 2 things. Firstly, it has 1 attack, which means that it effectively can't kill armored, since I talked about this in my previous video, but armor subtracts all damage from 1, and if a zombie or plant has 1 attack and it hurts a sorry, as stated, armor subtracts all damage from 1. So if a 1 attack plant or zombie hurts a armored zombie or armored plant, it just does not register damage. It does not deal any damage at all. So because of this, it can actually be incredibly bad since something like say Soul Patch can just ignore it even though it is deadly. So yeah, that's the reason why it's in neutral, but also because, and this is one that can be a bit annoying, and I did say this was okay. In my brainy tier list, I said that Cosmic Scientist will not give the thing when it's supposed to. That's the same thing for Cosmic Imp, because Cosmic Imp can conjure a trick, and since tricks don't have, I guess, attributes, then it doesn't get deadly. Like one of the annoying things this will give you is tripla is triplication. That could be very annoying. Now, interestingly enough, and I could be wrong about this, but I believe it might be the case, is this isn't entirely bad because if it gives you cake explosion, then the cake explosion will actually be deadly because it deals damage. I could be wrong about that. Maybe that's only with toxic waste imp, but I think that could be the case. If I'm wrong about that, then please let me know in the comments. Next up is Fly Zombie. Fly Zombie. Fly Zombie is fine. The reason I put it in this tier is because I use it in a pet deck, and there's a kind of a cool combo that I like to do. That being, you do hunt. Excuse me, sorry. You do hunting grounds on turn 2, and then you play this in turn 3, and if they play something in front of it, then it makes a good trade, and if they play something the next turn, then this will move and chase it, which honestly I think is a very cool combo. I really like it because of that. Admittedly, I really think it does have a bit too much of an expensive cost. I think that if this was a 2-cost card with 2/3 health, this would actually be incredible, but no, it's a 3-cost card. Yeah, it's because of that I decided to put in neutral rather than dislike, because admittedly you don't see this at all because, like, why run it outside of that one specific combo? But yeah. Next up is Barrel Roller. When Barrel Roller is destroyed, it'll spawn two amphibious imps in the lanes adjacent to it. It's fine, really. It does have sort of underwhelming stats, but I think that's fine, mainly because as long as you have 2 attack, you having deadly doesn't matter, or because we'll insta kill anything. And also, in my opinion, it having 3 health is actually good because that allows its ability to activate more often. It's just fine though because you really never see this like card at all, so that's why I'm putting it neutral. Next up is Robo Stomp, or is that the name of Z-Mech? Basically, what this does is it will bounce all plants on the ground lanes back to the plant's hand, which can actually be very good. You mainly see this in mill decks because that's the most strongest with it. It's really not that good, but it can be helpful occasionally. That's why I put it in neutral. Fishy Imp is just two cost, 3/1 stats. It's fine. I put it here because it has somewhat good stats, good attack for its cost. Next up is is it Sneaky Imp or Trash Imp? I can't remember. Basically, it has anti-hero 4, meaning that when there's no plants in its lane, it has 6 attack, and it's a gravestone. The reason I put it here is mainly because it's sort of, in my opinion, outclassed by regular Imp. Really, the only time this can be that good is if you have something to move it, or your opponent doesn't front it because they don't think it'll be that important. Outside of those, it can be good. It's just really not good outside those 2 things. So that's why it's in neutral. Next up is Firefighter. When you play this, it will bounce a zombie back to your hand. The reason this is in neutral and not dislike is because A, it actually has very good stats. Like here it has 4 attack and 5 health, but it actually got buffed to have 5 attack and 5 health, which is very good for its cost. Plus, another thing I honestly want to do, and the reason why it's in neutral tier, is you can do Firefighter Warlord, which is where you play Warlord, use the Firefighter to bounce it, and then play Warlord again. So yeah, that's the reason it's in neutral. Admittedly, it might not be that good of a card, but I'm just putting it here because I don't mind it at all. Next up is the like tier. This is our cards that I like using and I don't mind fighting against. And they're alright. Next up is Hot Dog Imp. It has Strike Through 2. It doesn't have any ability. Normally, I would put it in like dislike because not having ability can actually be very bad. But the strike through really makes up for it because just being able to get damage that your opponent can't chump block, well, can't chump block unless they super block it, is very good. So that's why it's in like tier. Next up is Viking or Unthawed Viking. Basically, when it enters a lane, it will freeze all plants in that lane, and then when you do a Pirate Evolution, it'll freeze all plants. Now, there is a bug with this that apparently was fixed, but isn't fixed anymore, where it doesn't do what it says. It doesn't. If you place it in a lane with a plant, it won't actually freeze the plant, or at least it won't do it if it's in the water lane, which is weird. The reason I say that's weird is because apparently they said that bug was fixed, but now it's back again, so I don't know why. I mainly put it in here just because, its ability to freeze everything is actually very good. That's a, brain freeze superpower, so yeah. Next up is next up is a monkey pirate. I believe it's monkey pirate and the other one's name is monkey smuggler. I could be wrong about that though. Could be wrong about that. Basically, this has anti-hero 3. Oh, and I'm sorry, anti-hero 2. So it has 5 attack when there's no plants in its lane. The reason I decided to put it in this tier is mainly because its ability, in my opinion, actually synergizes incredibly well with anti-hero. Because if a plant fronts this, it will move to a different lane, which actually can be very good because that could actually allow its anti-hero to activate properly. So yeah, that's the reason why I like it. Next up is Captain Flameface. Yes, from Garden Warfare. There's a Garden Warfare variant in this game, so that's cool. It has basically when you play it, all pirates get strike through as long as this card's on the field. I do like it. I kind of wish it didn't get nerfed because in case you don't know, this used to be a gravestone, but now it's no longer a gravestone, meaning your opponent can berry blast, sizzle, and stuff, which is very annoying. But yeah, it's a good card. I just really wish it didn't get nerfed like that. Next up is Swashbuckler. When a pirate hurts the zombie hero, that pirate gets +1/+1. And yes, this obviously includes itself since it itself is a pirate, but also this includes, Captain Flamefish, which can be a very good combo. I just really wish that Con Man was still a pirate. I'm not going to talk about it because it's not really important here, but just know there was a very cool combo you could do with Swashbuckler and Conman that stupidly enough got removed from the game, which I really feel like it shouldn't have. Like, okay, technically it should because it was immediately annoying to fight against, but at the same time, if that's the case, can they remove other ones that I hate, mainly the stupid Artichoke Venus Flytrap environment combo? I hate that one so much. Next up is Ice Pirate. When Ice Pirate comes out of the gravestone in its environment, it will freeze freeze a plant. That can be good. And it also has good stats. 3 attack can be very good. So yeah, that's why it's in like. Next up is Monkey Smuggler. Monkey Smuggler, when it reveals from itself from its gravestone, it steals one section of the plant's block meter. Originally, it was able to actually steal 2 sections of the plant's block meter, but that got nerfed to 1, which honestly, that's fine. Plus, I think it's still a good card simply because its stats are very good. Like, for its cost, its stats are quite good. Next up is Fire Rooster. Fire Rooster has the same ability as Zombie Chicken. When a plant fronts it, it will move to a different lane. The reason it's in like is not only just because I use it in a pet deck, but also because of the extra ability it has. When it enters a lane, it will do 1 damage to every plant in the lane, which can actually be very good to finish off plants that don't have that much health. Like for instance, Sunflower, Forget Me Nuts, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the reason why it's in lane tier. Next up is Excavator. Excavator, when it reveals itself from its gravestone, it will bounce in a plant environment. It'll either bounce a plant or a zombie environment, and all plants in that environment, when bounced, will go back to the plant hero's hand. It can be good. It can be good to deal with a boosted threat because again, this will activate regardless if it's in a plant environment or a zombie environment. So this could be very good to remove a plant in that environment. So yeah. Next up is Trapper. Trapper, when this reveals itself from its gravestone, will make a Trapper territory, which isn't in this tier list because Trapper territory is actually a crazy card. But basically, what it does 1 damage to plants at the beginning of the turn. The reason I put it here is mainly because if you're not running a if you're not running a deck with environments, you kind of really need this because plant environments can very much screw you over. So you really need this just to counter plant environments. That's why it's in this tier. Next up is Imp Commander. Anytime an Imp damages the plant hero, this will draw you a card. Very good in my opinion. And obviously that includes itself since it itself is an Imp, but also other Imp cards, which is why I put in like, because this can be very good and good. Plus, it also did get buffed to be a gravestone, so it can't get buried, blasted, or sizzled, so that's very good. Next up is Mini Ninja. When Mini Ninja has Anti-Hero 2, and it's good. Really, the reason I put it here above Trash Imp or Sneaky Imp is because A, it has good stats for its cost. Its cost to attack and one attack can be very good. Plus, you can combine it with other cards that can move, more specifically Smoke Bomb, which I'll get to later to activate the 4 attack. So yeah, it's very good in my opinion. Next up is Mixed Up Gravedigger. Mixed Up Gravedigger, when you play it, it will make it will sorry. When you play it in turn when you play it, it makes all zombies go into gravestone. All zombies go into gravestone. Even zombies that don't have a gravestone, like say Hot Doggin, will be put in a gravestone. This could be very good, mainly for a certain combo that I'll talk about here soon, but also because when a zombie goes back into its gravestone, two things will happen. Firstly, A, the zombie will regain all its health and attack. Will regain all its health and attack. If it was damaged and it goes into a gravestone, it would be fully healed. And also, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong about this. I believe it keeps any stat buffs that he got. I could be wrong about that, but I think it does keep stat buffs and even attributes like, say, Frenzy if it was given Frenzy by something else. But then there's the second reason this is very good is because when the zombie is revealed, it will activate its ability if it has a when played ability. Like, for instance, Warlord, if it pops out of Gravestone, it will activate its ability again because it came out of the Gravestone. So yeah, that could be very good. Next up is Cryo Yeti. When Cryo Yeti is revealed, it freezes a plant, and anytime a plant gets frozen, this gets +2/+2. This can be incredibly good, obviously, with Brain Freeze, because if you use Brain Freeze's signature superpower with it, this thing can get buffed to the moon. So yeah, I put it in like because I do like it. I've never really fought against it, and even then freeze isn't that annoying on zombies because you don't have infinite stun luck unlike the plants. So yeah, that's why I put it here. Next up is Tomb Raiser. Tomb Raiser, when this hits the plant hero's face, it will make a random tombstone. I did say this in my previous video on Mechasaur, but I'll say here just in case. It actually has 5 stats. It has 5 attack and 3 health. I don't know why the icon is not updated. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, because that does a lot of damage if it can hit the plant face. And secondly, the gravestone. Okay, I said in the previous video it can be anything, but that isn't true. It can only be zombies that are naturally gravestone, but still that can be good because you get a zombot and other stuff from it. So yeah. That's why it's here. Next up is Line Dancing Zombie. Line Dancing Zombie is when it is you play it and it'll be in a gravestone. When it's revealed from the gravestone, it'll move to a different lane. This is actually incredibly good, mainly because it has strike through, meaning that unlike Surprise Guard, it can't get chumped block, or it can only get chump blocked if the plant hero does super block. That's it. Plus, thanks to the fact that it's in a gravestone, they can't really kill it early. Well, not unless they have Blockbuster or Gravebuster to kill it early. So yeah, that's the reason why it's in this tier. Just a good card. Next up is Dr. Spacetime. When this hits the playing hero's face, it'll conjure you a card from the Galactic Garden set, and it gets -1 cost. Very good. I do like it. I really like it in my conjure deck. It's a mainstay in that deck. The reason I'm putting it in like and not love is because A, it only has 1 attack and it only conjures if it hits the plant hero, meaning making it very easy to chump block. That's really the only reason why it's in like tier, not love, but still, it's very good. Next up is Plank Walker. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know why it's the PVZ2 Plank Walker rather than the Heroes Plank Walker. I'm sorry about that, but basically, what this does is when you play it, it'll spawn 2 pirates in a random lane, and then it'll spawn 2 pirates in a random lane. Now, that might sound not that good, but that actually is for 2 reasons. First off, the pirates can be just about anything, meaning that obviously, as you see here, there are some decent pirates, but there are also some very good pirates that aren't shown here. The main one being Gargantuar throwing Gargantuar, which isn't here because it's a beastly card, but is very good because when that takes damage, it'll just spawn another Gargantuar in a random lane. It can be that can be good, but it can also be Warlord, which again isn't here because it's not a sneaky card. But what Warlord does is when you play it all zombies for the rest of the game, you get a 1/1 buff. So yeah, if you're very lucky, it can give you those 2 cards, which is incredible. But also another reason why it's here and why the icon not being updated annoys me is the fact that it has 6/6 stats, 6 health, and 6 attack, but also in the biggest one, it has 6 strike through. That is incredibly good. That means your opponent has to either insta kill it or freeze it in order to prevent it from attacking. And even if they do that, the other threats can still be good. Admittedly, it is random, so sometimes you can be very unlucky and get, like, say, a Swabby get like say a swabby, which can be obviously very bad, but still the fact that you can't, but thanks to its strike through and the fact that it does leave value on the board even after it gets destroyed is the reason why it's in the light tier. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this costs 8, so it's actually very expensive. Next up is Sharkatronic. Sharkatronic, okay, the icon isn't as bad as the previous two. It's the Heroes design rather than the Plants vs Zombies 2 design, but I don't know why it doesn't show its stats. It's a 5/5. It's a 5 stats, 5 attack, 5 health, and it costs 6. What this does is when a plant gets hurt, it instantly destroys it, and the shark sub gives +1 attack. Now, normally I hate things that instantly destroy other cards. I think Hakai, which there's not a name for it, but I like to call it Hakai because that's what it is. If you don't know what that means, Hakai is Japanese for destroy. I really don't like stuff that does Hakai. In my opinion, it's very annoying to deal with, mainly on plants. But the reason I put this in light tier is for 2 reasons. Is for 3 reasons. First off, I use it, so yeah, there is some bias there. Second reason is the fact that dealing damage to a target can actually be a bit of a challenge. Not a lot of times, but sometimes it can be a challenge compared to the other things that instantly destroy. And the third reason, and the reason it is in light tier, is because it has it's 6 cost 5/5 stats, which means that obviously your opponent can remove it very easily. And when this does destroy a plant, remember it only gets 1 attack, it does not gain health, meaning you have to have some sort of like I guess sugar no hearty tree or something to keep it alive. So yeah, that's the reason why I put it in light tier. In my opinion, this is one of the more balanced cards that actually can instantly destroy and doesn't feel unfair like how the plants into destroy does. So yeah, next up is Frosty Mustache. When you use it, it freezes a plant and you conjures you a mustache. Obviously, that's very good. It's very good, especially with other cards like say Mustache Waxer. So yeah, that's why it's in this tier. Next up is Raging Raptor. When this hurts the plant hero's face, it conjures you a card that costs 2 or less, and when it does its Dino Roar, it will gain 2 attack. Good card. I really do like it. It's part of the conjure deck and stuff like that. So yeah, I really don't have much to say other than just a good card. I like it. Next up is Next up is Gargolith. Gar yeah, Gargolith, I think. This one will be a bit debating because from what I've seen, this is apparently a very hated card, mainly by Solar heroes. But I don't play this. Well, I sort of play Solar class, but not really. But the reason I put it here is mainly because. Okay, sorry. Let me explain what this does before we talk about it. What this does is it will hide in a gravestone, and then when it pops out of the gravestone, it will steal 2 sections from the hero's block meter, and once at the end of the turn, it will put not only itself but every other Gargantuar into a gravestone. Essentially, if you don't kill this in 1 turn, it will just come back a lot. Immediately, that does sound annoying to fight. The reason I put it in here is mainly because A, I like its design, and I haven't fought it myself. Maybe this is a card that if I were to fight it, I would probably put it in dislike, but I honestly just don't mind it. Plus, really like it. So yeah, that's the reasons in here. Next up is Pogo. Well, now Pogo is interesting. Okay, when you play Pogo, it will. Okay, you play. Sorry, I don't know why I keep messing up my words. It hides in a gravestone, and when it comes out, it will bounce a plant back to the plant hero. This is incredibly good. The first reason why is A, because it's in a gravestone, you can actually sort of react to what they do. Like if this was just you play it and automatically bounces a plant, it wouldn't be as good. But because it's a gravestone, you can react to what they play and then bounce it, which is good. But the reason it's up here and the one that if you're watch Fry 'em Up, is that being Pogo Mug. If you don't know what Pogo Mug is basically turn 4 you play Pogo to bounces to keep it alive, and on turn 5 you play Mixed Up Gravedigger, which reactivates the Pogo and allows you to bounce again. Plus this isn't just a duo; it's actually a trio. Pogo Yeti Mug. So yeah, it activates this card as well. Again, it's a very good card. Now there is one thing I do find odd about Pogo. Pogo is a sports zombie, which is interesting. I don't mind that because I do run in a sports deck. It's just weird because is pogo hopping a sport? I'm not sure if it is. But also, in the one I'm honestly most surprised with this is simple. This should be a party zombie. I'm not sure why, but for some reason it's only a sports zombie. It's not a party zombie, which this should be a party zombie. If you don't know why I say that, the reason is because in the original In the original PVZ, the mini games, one of them was called Pogo Party, which was just you fighting against nothing but Pogo. So yeah, I think this should be a sports party zombie, just to reference the PVZ one game. So yeah. All right. Next up is Space Cowboy. What Space Cowboy does is when it hurts the planet hero, it will move to the right lane and attack again, and that will continue until the planet hero blocks. This is incredibly good, mainly because as I say, this basically forces the plant hero to super block it, because if they get unlucky and they don't, this can just wipe like half of their health away. And also it's strike through, so it can't be chumped block. But another reason I really like this card is simple. It's actually the only card sort of the only card. I think Gondola can do it too, but it's worse at it. Is the only card that can actually dodge. If you don't know what I mean by that, basically, let's say you're a zombie and you play this, and then the plant hero plays like Potato Mine, Primal Potato Mine, or Tater Toss, which is Spadow's signature ability or signature superpower. When this hurts the plant hero, if they don't block it, when this hurts the plant hero, it'll move on to the next lane, and the Potato Mine will explode. But because this moved to the right lane, it completely avoids the explosion and just neutralizes it. Basically, that's obviously incredibly good. In fact, again, I believe it and Gondola are the only two cards that can do that, which is honestly super cool. Yep. Next up is Trampoline. When you use this, it just bounces a plant. Just good all around. Not really much else to say. Interestingly enough, this is a party trick, which makes me just this is a party trick, which just confirms that Pogo should also be a party zombie. But hey, whatever. Next up is Imp Throwing Imp. When this gets hurt, it throws a random imp into a random lane. This can be good, mainly because it has 3 health, so it can actually tank a lot of stuff. So yeah, I just put it in like because I really don't know where else, but it's just a good card. Next up is Toxic Waste Imp. When toxic when you play Toxic Waste Imp, as long as it's on the field, all imps become deadly. That is obviously incredibly good. Very good, in fact. And interestingly enough, and one I didn't know about, I said it earlier with Cosmic Imp, but it's more notable with Toxic Waste Imp, is if you use the Cake Explosion, which is an imp party trick, it will actually insta kill because since it's an imp, it counts as deadly, and therefore, even though it's just supposed to do 4 damage, it'll basically instantly kill the thing if does damage. So yeah, very good card. Hard plus, now you might think, oh, well, that sounds annoying to fight, and while it can be annoying to fight, I put it here mainly because with 2/2 stats, it really isn't that difficult to deal with. In fact, a lot of time you can just banana bomb or berry blast it. So yeah, that's the reason I put it in light, because now it's very good, but it does have good counterplay. Next up is Laser Base Alpha. What this does is when you play it, zombies in the lane that's in gain both deadly and strike through. It's very good, obviously. In fact, this can basically just about any card have value, because obviously being able to not just not get chump block but kill everything is incredible. In fact, I would say the best use of this is to deal with team up plants, because one of the most annoying things plants will do is that they'll have like a card like, say, Witch Hazel, or more commonly, and one of my least favorite cards, Starch Lord. They'll block it with a team up plant like either walnut or garlic, and you really can't kill it. But thanks to this, you'll be able to actually finish it off, which is very good. So yeah. Next up is Barrel. Barrels, when you use this on a zombie, the zombie becomes deadly and it'll conjure you a barrel. Just good card overall. Millie is a bit outclassed by Laser Base Alpha, but I think it has its own distinct identity to be fine. Next up is Pool Party Zombie. When this hurts the plant hero, it grows by 1/1. Originally, this had 1 health, but it was buffed to 2 health, which is actually makes it very good. Not really much else to say other than it's a good card. I like using in a pet deck. It can be very good to uh, chip your opponent, as well as force out answers if they want to deal with it. That can allow your other threats to ravage. So yeah. Next up is Imposter. Imposter is such a good card in my opinion. Maybe I should have put in the love tier, but I put in the like tier. I do really like this card. First off, it has, in my opinion, one of the best designs for zombies, period. Fun fact, this zombie actually comes from the Facebook game. Like, what was it called? Plants vs. Zombies. I can't remember what it was called, but it was only on Facebook and it got canceled after like a year. But yeah, this is actually from that game, which is honestly super cool as a callback. Again, what it does is when it gets destroyed, it'll give you a one cost imp that with a mustache. You mainly only use this with Duckstash, since you can either play Duckstash on top of it to get the mustache evolution buff, or you can get an imp with a mustache, which you can then play and do Duckstash there. Really, this is very good. Good. Admittedly, it's only good with Duckstash, but still, I like it. And plus, hey, I like Duckstash, so yeah, overall, good card. Next up is Buried Treasure. Buried Treasure is when you play a zombie in it, and by the way, it's a fusion, so you can't play gravestones. But yeah, it's a fusion, so when you play a zombie in it, it'll give you a random legendary with -1 cost. This is obviously incredibly good. First off, it has actually decent stats for its cost. 2 attack is good, plus 2 health is fine as well. Plus, one of my favorite things to do with this is to use either Dr. Spacetime or Wormhole Gatekeeper to get basically a 2 who less cost a legendary, which is incredible. Seriously, I really like this card. My opinion is kind of an underrated. Maybe underrated is the right word, but I just like it. Next up is Headstone Carver. When a zombie pops out of a gravestone, it will give it +1/+1 buff. So yeah, just good card. Good for its stats as well, since obviously the attack doesn't really matter, but the health it does. So yeah, that's very good. Next up is Graveyard. Graveyard is interesting. When you play it, if you play another zombie into it, it will automatically become a gravestone. Like, to give you an example, as I just said with Hot Dog Imp isn't a gravestone naturally, but if you play it in the graveyard, it will become a gravestone. And when it pops out, it'll get a +1 attack buff. This is actually incredibly good. It's good. It can, be used to shield plant, zombies from certain things. Like, you can use this with, Captain Flameface to have basically its old self back. So yeah, it's also very good to protect certain targets. One of the best combos with this is Space Cowboy, which you can play into it and it'll get 4 attack, and also they won't be able to Berry Blast or anything. So yeah, that's very good. Now, interestingly enough, this can be bad. One of the worst things I said, and I said this in my previous tier list with Brainy, is if you place Wizard Gargantuar in here, it will just flat out soft lock the game. So yeah, if you're using Wizard Gargantuar, do not run this card because it will soft lock the game. So yeah, be very wary of that. Next up is Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb, when you use it, will move a zombie to a different lane you select, and then it'll give +1 attack. This is obviously incredibly good with anti-hero cards like, Mini Ninja or Trash Imp, like, very good with those cards, but it also can be good with other cards. Like, another combo I like with it is using it on Fly Zombie to, move to a different lane. Plus, it can also work with other cards. Another combo I like with it is to use it on Space Cowboy to move it back to, like, I guess the top lane, because once this hits the amphibious lane, it can't move anymore. But you can just use this to give it not only more attack, but to essentially reset it so that way you can get more value out of it. So yeah, that's the reason it's in this tier. In love, there are no love cards, which I will say this in the future tier list I plan on doing, there probably won't be any more love cards, because really the only 2 cards I really love were Shooting Starfruit and Trickster. So you might not see any more love cards. That could change, but yeah. So yeah, this is my tier list for Sneaky. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and also the next video for tomorrow will be on TF2. So don't worry, I do plan on making more videos on that. And after that, that will probably be the next FNAF banging video. All right. Well, see you around.